Creatures of the night, it's your girl Tati, and let's talk about Rampage. We did start off with Uncle Don coming out. Tony Schiavone's already in the ring waiting for them to come out there. It's the whole Don Callis family coming out. And Uncle Don is wearing a fedora, a burgundy fedora, and he has new shoes. I think it was like red, maybe even burgundy color. It's really nice that you're taking my advice, Uncle Don, because them spike shoes you've been wearing, baby, them things, it's time to retire those things. Now, they all come into the ring. Tony Schiavone was about to say something, but long story short, they told him to get his ass out the ring. We don't need to hear anything from Tony Schiavone. I think Uncle Don got it from here. Now, he goes on to say that everybody in the Don Callis family, they are the 1%ers in the pro wrestling world. Basically saying that those very few rare people, specimens, if you will, in pro wrestling, they're all in his little group that he got over there. Brian Cage, Lance Archer, Kyle Fletcher, Takeshita. But he does go on to tell Kyle Fletcher as his favorite wrestler, which is very interesting. Now, I'm cool with him saying that, but at the same time, it may come off that Kyle Fletcher is his favorite, like literally within the group. So I don't know if that'll ever be an issue somewhere down the road. We'll see. While they're over here talking shit about Powerhouse Hobbs, since Takeshita got a match coming up with him at World's End, we do have Hobbs who comes out with Mark Davis. They are in tag team action against Takeshita and Brian Cage. Now, if you guys saw Ring of Honor, or if you've seen my review, you know Brian Cage just lost his TV title over there in Ring of Honor to Commander of all people. You know what? I'm not going to get into it. Go watch the review if you didn't see it. Go watch the show if you didn't see it. Whatever. Brian Cage did have the TV title on him at Rampage, because Rampage is taped on Wednesday nights right after Dynamite. So yes, both those shows was going on at the same time. Obviously, Rampage was already taped, and the Ring of Honor Final Battle pay-per-view was going on live. Now, really great matchup. And when I'm watching this, I'm seeing like Brian Cage, he got a new look. He's part of the Don Callis family. And he's been working really well in terms of tag team action with Lance Archer. And then he did really well with Takeshita and tag team action. And for me, I'm looking at this and I'm just like, all right, maybe I'm not happy about them taking that title off of him at Ring of Honor, because honestly, he didn't really get a chance to do anything with that title. However, I'm seeing the potential. I'm thinking maybe they are looking at doing a little bit more with Brian Cage, especially being part of the Don Callis family. Maybe that's going to bring some big opportunities. Now, as far as him being in the tag team, I'm cool with it. He works really well with Takeshita. He worked really well with Lance Archer. However, I still do feel like there is a single star in Brian Cage. We just need to bring that out. And we'll see what ends up happening with that. Now, we do have Takeshita and Brian Cage end up taking the win here. And I'm cool with it. Powerhouse Hobbs look great. Mark Davis look great. And Mark Davis was just absolutely killing it in that match, at the TV title match in Ring of Honor. So we get a lot of great things with all these guys in the ring. However, Don Callis, we got to see what we can do for all these wrestlers in that group as individuals. So now after this, we have Renee Paquette, who is congratulating Willow Nightingale for representing AEW in the Women's International Cup. That's going to be at the Wrestle Dynasty pay-per-view on January 5th. And while she is congratulating her, we do have Chris Statlander, who seemingly comes to congratulate Willow for her little win and ends up quickly walking away, which was very interesting. Now after this, we do have Leo Rush teaming up with Action Andretti to go against local talent. This was pretty much a squash match. They end up taking the win. After they win, we do have Private Party that come out. They have been doing absolutely nothing with those tag titles. They did have one title defense at the Full Gear pay-per-view. Other than that, we really haven't seen anything from these guys. Now, they do end up getting attacked by Leo Rush and Action Andretti while Top Flight is coming out, and they end up holding the titles before throwing them to the ground. Very interesting. We do know that you know what? I actually would love to see all three of these teams go at it at World's End. I think it's only going to be Top Flight, no, not Top Flight, Action Andretti and Leo Rush going against Private Party at World's End. Whatever the situation is, can we please do something with these guys? I mean, we're once again at that situation where it's just like, all right, Private Party won this. We wanted them to win this, but there's nothing of importance going on with this. And once again, it's starting to feel like wrestling is about just holding titles and not really doing anything with their title reigns. So now we have Harley Cameron and Penelope Ford. They're backstage. Harley Cameron been taking nothing but L's, but my girl is improving, so we do like to see that. Now, Penelope Ford is basically saying since she's been back, she's been taking L's too. Well, I think she did take one win. I could be lying. And she's not happy about that, and basically saying that they should have each other's back. Now, Harley Cameron is just like, what? What's wrong with my back? And I'm like, girl, what the fuck is she talking about? But it seems like Harley doesn't really understand what proposition that Penelope Ford is giving her. With that being said, we have girl Harley Cameron going against Willow Nightingale in a really great match. And honestly, I wasn't expecting much from Harley going against Willow. However, I thought they had a really great chemistry. And you can really see that Harley Cameron is really putting in work. She's training with some of the girls, even Mercedes she's training with. And she's trying to do her best here. And I felt like with this match here with Willow, I think this is one of those little turning points for her in terms of people really seeing that, hey, we got a star in the future here. Like, she is looking so much more comfortable in the ring. That personality is absolutely beaming, and I absolutely love it. However, Willow Nightingale ends up taking the win, which we knew would happen. Penelope Ford comes out and attacks Willow Nightingale, and Harley Cameron just like, wait, what the fuck? And then she was like, you know what? I'll beat her ass with you too. Now they're both beating up on Willow Nightingale, and here comes Statlander that comes for the save. Now the whole crowd is looking at Willow Nightingale and Statlander in the ring, and they're like, hug it out, hug it out. And Statlander's just like, no, not today. After this, we do get a hype video for the Tijuana Graveyard match. I think that's what it's called. No, Tijuana Street Fight. Our girl, Mariah May, for the women's title going against Thunder Rosa. This will be at the World's End pay-per-view, so I did appreciate seeing that little video package. After that, we have, for whatever motherfucking reason, Jeff Jarrett has his own little video back there with that whole little crew of his, basically talking about all the accomplishments that they made in 2024, which was nothing. And then Jeff Jarrett goes on to say, well, I got all these things that I want to accomplish in 2025. He doesn't necessarily say what those accomplishments will be, but he has plans on being active in the ring. I would say that I'm excited, but if I say that, I would be lying. And that's one thing I said I wasn't going to do, was lie to y'all in these reviews. So for me, I don't know where this is coming from, because honestly, they didn't do much this year. He did do, what, like 2 matches in the Owen Hart Cup, or maybe 1, whatever the situation was. He went to All In. Other than that, well, he was at the Final Battle pay-per-view tonight as well. But in terms of accomplishments, I haven't really seen anything much of importance from Jeff Jarrett in 2024. So we'll see what ends up happening with that. Main event, we do have the Gold League match. We do have Brody King versus Commander. And honestly, I'm not going to lie, after the foolishness at the Final Battle pay-per-view of Commander taking the TV title, I was already over it, and I didn't want to see Commander again. However, Commander obviously is still in the Continental Classic, and his match with Brody pretty much killed him for like 85% of the match. Towards the end is when we really see Commander come alive. This was definitely one of those situations of like a David versus Goliath type of thing, where Goliath takes the motherfucking win. And Brody King, I don't know what it is. That man is beautiful to me. Like, I love his body, the tattoos, the beard. He has a really great look that I really, really like. And, you know, Malachi Black and Buddy could have been in the Continental Classic as well, but whatever. I think Brody has been doing pretty well. And with him being in the ring with Commander, it's almost like kind of Brody and Darby Allin. He's had plenty of matches with Darby Allin, so Commander was just a walk in the park for him. Commander does come out of the blue with the spirit of John Cena and end up having quite a bit of momentum towards the end of the match. However, Brody King has plans on winning this damn tournament and ends up taking the win. What's very interesting to me is that Commander being at the Final Battle pay-per-view end up winning the TV title but can't even win a damn match in AEW to save his motherfucking life is very interesting to me. And even before him replacing Juicy in the Continental Classic, he was taking L's too. I think the last match he had before that was with Hechicero. He lost that match. There was a couple of other things that had happened before where he took some L's. And while he's really, really talented, I just feel like it kind of feels weird that he ends up taking the TV title based off of what's been happening within Ring of Honor. Congratulations, Commander. Now, Commander got 0 points still. Continental Classic. Brody King has 6 points now. And I think there's like 5 people, I want to say 4 or 5 people within the Gold League with 6 points. So right now, we don't have anybody in the lead per se, one person in the lead. So things are really going to pick up this next week because next Saturday, is the World's End pay-per-view where we will have a winner. Somebody's going to win the Continental Classic. It just really feel like this whole thing was going by really, really quick. Somebody going to end up winning it. Still, my pick for me right now is Okada, but we'll end up seeing what ends up happening with that. Rampage was actually not a bad show. I really did enjoy Willow and Harley. I love to see when wrestlers are improving and finding out what works for them. And the crowd was really, really divided between the two girls, cheering for Willow, cheering for Harley. And I'm just like, our girl is making it. So I'm looking forward to see what ends up happening with them in the future. And also Don Callis' family, they're finally picking up. I know some people haven't had a lot of faith in that group, but I feel like they have all the right people in that group right now. Don Callis is the mouthpiece of that group, but I don't feel like he has to be all the time. I think everybody, well, never mind, I was about to say everybody in that group can speak for themselves. That's not necessarily true. But I think Don Callis should step aside and see what other strengths these other guys in the group has. I know Kyle Fletcher is really making a huge name for himself. Takeshita, I still feel like is the best wrestler within that group. But we got to give Lance Archer and Brian Cage a chance, especially since they took that title off of Brian, to see what it is that they can do as well. Not bad for Rampage. We do have Collision on Saturday, and that's going to be an even better show. They're going to be doing that at the Hammerstein Ballroom. The crowd better wake their asses up because they were kind of sleeping during the Final Battle pay-per-view. We need much better from this New York crowd. Guys, thanks so much for watching my review. I will be back tomorrow with Collision. See you guys then. Bye.